Okay. Here we are together. I don't know. Anyways, this is it, y'all. Episode 1, the intro, the alpha to this whole experience. It's been such a long time coming to produce this show. Literally years and years and years and years. I think I first decided on this idea maybe 2016. And 4 years later, here we are. I am a little nervous, I have to tell you. I think I have put so much time and energy and thought into this endeavor that I have literally psyched myself out. But what I plan to do right here and now is face all the fears and things that I've been worried about. And I'm jumping off the deep end of the pool. So swim with me, if you will. Again, my name is Alami Bashir, aka Mama Lami. And I am your transformational life coach. And Be Great Every Day is a labor of my love. Now let me keep it real. Be Great Every Day is really an extension of my purpose. As I mentioned, I am a life coach, and literally what I do for a living is I help people live their best life. I help people develop the mindset, the habits, and the practices they need in order to go after the shit they want. And that too is part of my purpose. This podcast is just an extension of that work, a place and space where I can share some of the tips, tools, and strategies that I know are helping my clients through. I want to give some of that stuff for free to you. There's a whole backstory to Be Great Every Day. And some of you, if you've been following my socials, if you've been following me in any capacity online, you've probably heard this story once or twice. But I'd be remiss if I didn't share it here and now. Many, many years ago, I was in college. I graduated from the University of California at Irvine. And so I used to live in the Orange County area, if you're familiar with California, or if you're not, it's Southern California. And one day I was driving down the highway, and there's a toll road on the particular highway that I was on. And as I approached the toll road, the toll collector, as I approached the toll collector, I noticed it's an older African-American gentleman. Looks like, anybody's grandfather. Just sweet, very warm energy, warm spirit about him. And I approached his toll booth and paid whatever the fee was. And I just remember I gave him my money. And as he collected it, he looked at me and he said, "Have a great day, no matter what." Have a great day, no matter what. And in that moment, I'm just carrying about my normal everyday business for that day, driving through, give the guy my money. He tells me this. And even though I was driving, it literally stopped me in my tracks. I proceeded to pull away from the toll booth, and I was just dumbfounded and lost in my own thought about what that really meant. Have a great day, no matter what. In that moment, I had an epiphany. And what I realized was, wow, have a great day no matter what. That means that in spite of all that should happen today, in spite of anything I should experience, any conversation that I should have that disrupts my spirit, in spite of any circumstance that I'm engaged in that doesn't seem to be going my way, in spite of any hardship, adversity, pain, illness, or tragedy, have a great day no matter what. It was mind-blowing. That is where Be Great Every Day was birthed. In that notion of having a great day no matter what. And now I know some of you are listening to this like, okay, that sounds cute and all, that's a cute story. But how do you have a great day when something really difficult has happened? How do you have a great day when tragedy strikes? How do you have a great day when you're really pissed off at something that just happened and you're frustrated, annoyed? How do you have a great day when you're angry or when you've maybe mistreated somebody that you really care about? How do you have a great day when you feel guilty, when you feel sad, when you feel alone and depressed? All of that came flooding through in that moment. And I have since come to answer some of those questions. How do you have a great day no matter what? And that is what I want to spend my time and energy doing with this channel, with this podcast, is showing each of you how to do that, how to have a great day no matter what. Again, I know there's many of you listening that are doubting the possibility of that even being a reality. I know you're thinking back right now on situations and circumstances from your past and maybe even your recent present, maybe even today, maybe even just before you started listening to this podcast. Something happened, something undesirable, uncomfortable, hurtful, painful, or grief-stricken. I know you're thinking, there's just no way to have a great day no matter what. I know many of you are thinking that life is just going to happen. And even if I go about it with that great attitude in the beginning of the day, something is going to happen to knock me off my square. Something is going to happen. And if it doesn't happen today, then tomorrow when I set out to have a great day, something is going to happen. So is it really possible to have a great day every day? To be great. And we'll break that whole thing down later. And actually, I'll insert something here and now. When I talk about being great, I'm not talking about being perfect. I'm not talking about being free from error or illness or mistake. When I'm talking about being great, I'm not talking about things being flawless, seamless, and that you won't face any adversity. That's not realistic. That's what's not realistic. Expecting to go through a day without a challenge or a trial or something that just kind of emotionally rocks you back every day without that, that's not realistic. One thing I know to be true about life is that it's always happening. It's always happening. And the most unanticipated, unexpected situations are always to be anticipated and expected. That's what I know to be true. But what I also know to be true is that no matter what we face in life, it's all about our mindset. It's all about the lens in which we see the problem. The lens through which you see the world. It's about the lens through which we interpret the world. The difference between someone being stressed and someone not being stressed is what they define as stress. And so in this moment, in the moments to come, as this podcast unfolds, I want to explore that on a deeper level. I literally want to talk about problems with this podcast. And not from a woe is me, oh my God. You can do that on your own. You don't need a podcast to help you feel sorry for yourself. I think what I really am most committed to with this podcast is helping you redefine the challenges, the failures, the adversities that you have in your life. To show you that even when quote unquote bad things happen, when problems, challenges, issues occur, that if we only redefine how we look at those things, that we can actually find value in those things that contributes to our day. Maybe not that day, maybe not most immediately can we see the value in negative experience or what we perceive to be negative or undesirable experiences. Sometimes the insight doesn't come right away. Sometimes it's hindsight. But what I want to do is teach you how to make that redefinition of your day really your foresight. Meaning, even before something happens, that you're already prepared to navigate it emotionally, that you already have the mental tools, emotional skills, behavioral skills that you need to be able to navigate the hard times. That's what Be Great Every Day is about. Helping you redefine your problems in a way in which you find value, and also offering you some effective tips and tricks, strategies you can use to support yourself as you go through certain things. So when I say real talk and true stories about everyday problems, I mean that. I don't want to talk about ideals and idealism. I want to talk about fact. I want to talk about the things that people are really struggling with, and the ways in which we, because I'm one of people too, I don't have it all figured out. I just know that there are certain things that I do and that I've learned to be effective for other people as well, that I feel like the masses need to know. I don't want anybody's finances to be the barrier between them gaining the knowledge they need to live a healthier, more productive, more effective, and efficient life, a more satisfying life, a more meaningful life. So Be Great Every Day is here to offer you not solutions, but alternatives, perspective, tips, tools, strategies, and approaches that you can try on for yourself, see if it works for you in your situation. I welcome you to keep whatever fits and leave the rest for someone else. Okay? So that's what Be Great Every Day is about. I'm slowly working through the nerves. This moment makes me a bit emotional because this is not just a hobby. This, to me, this experience of embarking on this podcast journey really feels like me stepping into my rightful place. And when I say my rightful place, not one I've chosen, but the place that I know has been chosen for me. You'll get to know me over the episodes as I share more about my life story and experiences that I have. I love to talk about personal stories to give reference. And one of the reasons for that is because I want people to know that I've gone through a lot of things that I'm talking about. I want people to know that I am not reading from a book or a script, and that these are things that I know to be truths for me. And I offer them to see if they're truths for you, and to see if it can help you kind of move the needle on certain places and spaces in your life where you're struggling. I don't want you to think that it's all doom and gloom as we talk about problems. You know, today I'm kind of in a really focused energy as I am working through my own internal stuff, literally right now, to face the fear of stepping out on this platform in such a bold way to try to support people. And yeah, I do this work already. I do coaching. I am a coach. I work one-on-one with clients. I work in groups doing group coaching. I host workshops. I work with all kinds of folks, from students to leaders to administrators to professional athletes to scientists. I mean, you name it. Medical professionals. I mean, I've worked with the gamut. But this feels different. This work feels different. I'm normally talking directly to someone in a two-way dialogue. But now I feel like I'm in a position to now have to be even more transparent and true to my calling, my stuff. So that's the backdrop on Be Great Every Day. Real talk and true stories about everyday problems. I plan to have guests on this show. It won't just be me talking. That's my worst nightmare in life. It's just me talking at people. If you followed me for any length of time, I just ended a weekly virtual office hour that I was hosting once COVID struck. COVID struck, everybody's shut in, everybody's trying to deal with this new normal and all this transformation and change. And so I started hosting a virtual office hour on Instagram and Facebook. And honestly, that platform was an opportunity to connect with people, but I felt like I was talking too much. And I wanted to hear more from the people I was talking to, you, the audience, those of you who are in situations or trying to navigate circumstances for which you are ill-equipped to do successfully right now, or in the most healthy fashion, right? We know how to adapt to things sometimes, and sometimes in not the healthiest ways, but I'm really committed to offering you effective and efficient tips, tools, and strategies to help you get through. And not just help you get through, but to rise and thrive so that you can ascend to the level of life that you want to live. You know, that whole live your best life now. That's what this is about. It's helping you gain the insight and the skills you need to do that. But let's talk for a minute. So, you know, for those of you, let me ask a blanket question. Of course, it's rhetorical, as you can't answer me immediately, but you can, if you're on YouTube, drop it in the comments. When you think about the whole statement, be great every day for you, as you personalize that and ask yourself, can I be great every day? Can I? Not is it possible for someone, but can I be great every day? When you ask yourself that question, if your answer is no, I'm curious to know what stands in the way. What are the obstacles that stand in the way from you being your best every day? And when I'm talking about being your best, again, this is not with perfection. This is not without flaw or mistake, but you really giving your best effort. When I talk about being great every day, I'm not talking about, again, not having challenges. I'm talking about giving it your all, giving each day your all. I'm talking about you reaching for your goals every day. I'm talking about you engaging the process with an attitude of gratitude, trusting that all things are working together for your greater good. G.R.E.A.T. Being that kind of great. Can you do that? Is it possible to approach each day and give it your all? Is it possible to reach for your goals every day? Is it possible to engage the process with an attitude of gratitude and trust that all things are working together for your greater good? Is that possible for you? If we define great in that term and in that way, is that possible? From where I sit, I definitely think it is. Give it your all every day. I definitely think it's possible. Again, it's all in how you define it. Sometimes giving it your all looks like I was able to get out of bed today, even though I felt like really staying in and keeping the blankets over my head because I'm bummed out. That's giving it your all. It's doing the best you can in a given day. However you feel, wherever you're at, whatever's happening around you, just doing the best you can in that day. No, it's not going to be perfect. No, it's not going to be, pretty all the time. But can you give each day your all? Can you have a mindset of excellence each day? The pursuit of excellence each day. And when it comes to reaching for your goals might be just making a to-do list or giving it some real thoughtful consideration of what all the things that you want to get done. And if we expand that thought, then it could look like clarifying what you really want out of your life. Reaching for your goals can be just entertaining the possibility of something that you really deep down inside want, but don't feel you're worthy of or able to attract or go for. Engaging the process with an attitude of gratitude. Engaging the process, meaning, again, redefining how you look at failure, redefining how you look at fear, maybe even redefining how you look at yourself. But in spite of any tragedy, trial, or tribulation, always approaching it with an attitude of gratitude. And I know that part doesn't seem easy, but as you learn to reprogram yourself, to recalibrate the lens through which you see the world, it becomes all the more easy. And when you recalibrate your mind to be appreciative of things and to find the silver lining, or as I say, the lesson and the blessing, when you recalibrate to operate from that mode, it changes you. And it becomes contagious. It becomes your knee-jerk reaction and reality that when tough stuff happens, you don't sulk, you don't whine, you don't complain or murmur as much, if at all. And the more you practice that habit, the more common and automatic it comes for you. So that when you do run up against tough stuff, you go right to being grateful. Like, God, I really hate that happened, but at least ... That becomes your automatic thought process. And when I talk about trusting that all things are working together for your greater good, I'm really talking about your faith system. Can you have faith that everything is always still going to work out in your best interest? Can you do that every day? You can. But first, you have to break the mold of certain concepts and constructs that you're attached to. And we'll talk more about that in more detail, but I'll say the first construct that you have to break is the thought that I can't be great every day. When you start to shift your thought process, your language, and your mode of operation, when you start to actually conceptualize a life in which you are able to successfully navigate every day, and again, that doesn't mean it's not hard and that it's not uncomfortable or that it's not painful, but it means that you can get through it every day. Be great every day. That's the first step. To just think it's possible. To create space for it to be possible. That's the first step. If your mindset is already, I feel good now, but tomorrow, here's an example. You ever hear somebody that talks, like, let's say Monday they come to work and they're like, I got the sniffles. I know I'm gonna be sick. I hope I'm not getting sick. You ever heard, you may have said that yourself. I know there's a time where I've said that. I know, dang, I'm about to get sick. Like you're already claiming what you don't want. Mindset alone is enough to break down your immune system. But if you're like, dang, I'm about to get sick, and then you correct yourself, nah, I got it because I'm about to take these medicines. I'm about to knock this thing right out. It's a different mindset. You're literally feeding your cells a different kind of energy. You're empowering your cells. You're empowering your immune system and your body's natural ability to ward off what you don't want. That's just a small example of how our thoughts help to dictate and create our reality. Quite honestly, the only reality we experience is our thoughts, the one that we create there. So if you are ready to take your life to another level, it starts there. You have to reconceptualize everything. You know, being pessimistic or having a half-empty kind of mindset is not where you want to be. Because no, you won't be great every day. But if you approach each day with positivity, with optimism, with gratitude, you'll get there. If not immediately, eventually. And when I talk about there is not just a singular place. There is this mindset in which you know and believe and trust that you can be, do, have, and feel everything that you want if you are only focused on that. Yeah, there can be setbacks. Yeah, there can be obstacles and hurdles and challenges. But you'll get through that too with the right mindset. So, welcome. Welcome to Be Great Every Day, where we engage in real talk and true stories about everyday problems and how to solve them. And no, I don't have all the answers. I only want to offer you strategies and approaches. You try them on for yourself. You try them on for yourself. But before I go, I want to talk about some of the common reasons why people don't feel like they can have a great day. Like there's some really specific things that people get hung up on. And if I can just recap, I know somebody's out there thinking, there's no way I can have a great day no matter what, because I'm battling mental illness, or I'm battling stress and depression, because I'm always anxious, because I stay worried about something. because I'm insecure, because I'm afraid and fearful of what might happen next in the future, how can I have a great day with so much uncertainty in my life? I know you're thinking that you have real challenges that are going to keep you from your joy and your peace. And by the way, that's really what we're talking about, is finding your peace. Being great every day is not just about, oh, I'm an overcomer. It's partly that. But it's really about being determined to have and maintain your inner peace. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's a commitment to your own joy. Yeah, I know I might have lost some folks already, but common problems again. It's all mindset. Why can't you have a great day? It's because you have not adopted the right mindset to allow yourself to face challenge and know that you can still move beyond it. That's a belief system. You have to know and believe in yourself that you are capable of enduring whatever comes your way. That's how you can be great every day. Other challenges. There's real life stuff like, physical challenges. Some of you are in poor health. You have chronic pain. You are struggling to maintain your health and fitness in a way that you want. You are looking at your past history and past practice and past failures, and you're projecting that onto your future. Well, I know I did this, that, and the other before, so it's likely that that's probably going to happen again. I'm probably going to fall off again. I'm going to try not to, but it's like you're already poisoning your own process. But because you have challenges when it comes to your health and fitness, you're struggling to keep a routine or develop a routine, you're struggling to stay on track to what you say you want, that's what has you thinking, it's not going to work out every time. I can't be great because I failed so many times before, right? So health and fitness challenges or struggles keep some of you from thinking that it's going to get better. You've been dieting, you've tried this other exercise routine or that practice, that activity, this food regimen, and it's not working. So chances are it's not going to work in the future. So how am I going to be great and I'm failing? It's all a matter of perspective. You tried those things, which were efforts in the right direction, which means that during that period of time that you tried, you broke some old habits that were not in alignment with what you wanted. You tried something new. It may not have been permanent, but that doesn't mean you're doomed to failure for a lifetime. It just means it didn't work then. Mindset. Other challenges. Some of you are thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to have a great day every day because my job sucks. I hate my job. I hate my career. I don't know the direction in which my life is going, professionally speaking. I'm not going to be able to have a great day because I'm not pursuing my passions. Or I'm feeling guilty because I know I have more to offer and I'm not doing it. I've been too scared. I'm still scared. How am I going to have a great day and I'm not living my life at the level that I want to be? Again, it's mindset. Are you giving each day your all? Are you taking the time to kind of break down what it will take for you to create new goals and take some steps toward them? If you hate your job, if you hate your career, what are you doing about it? Some of you need tips and strategies on where to start. You hate your reality, but don't know where to begin to reshape it and shift it. This is a place and space. This podcast is a place and space where we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff. How do you add more meaning into your life? How do you clarify what it is that you really want? And not just out of your career, but out of your life in general. How do you, even if you like your job, maybe you don't like your coworkers, maybe there's some dynamics at work that make you feel really uncomfortable or underappreciated and undervalued. How can I have a great day when I'm working in that kind of environment? It's all perspective. And not just that, you have options. If the environment is that torturous and unhealthy or maybe even toxic, what are you doing about it? And if you're not doing anything, what's holding you back? This podcast, we're going to break down all of those kind of ideas. Again, we're talking about problems. So we'll be breaking down the things that you might be struggling with at work, or common things that people struggle with at work, and how to make it through, how to cope. For those of you who are really trying to redefine yourselves or find yourselves, this is going to be a great asset to you, helping you clarify what you want and helping you create a strategic action plan toward getting it. Some of you are thinking, well, I already have all of that. I'm already ready to transition or pivot out of my job. I know exactly what I want, but I just keep falling off track. Or I'm not real confident in myself and my ability to really execute. We're going to be talking about that. How do you build confidence? How do you build courage? How do you increase your behavioral consistency toward the things that you want the most? Right? So that you can make that change, make that pivot, and transition into a more meaningful and satisfying professional life. Other challenges people face that keeps them from thinking they can be great every day. Some of you are just generally unsatisfied with yourselves, with your I call it your spiritual life. Sometimes when I say that, people immediately think religious, and that's not at all what I'm referring to, although that could be part of it. But when I'm talking about your spiritual life, I'm talking about the way in which you nurture the essence of who you are. And being great every day requires you to be tapped in and tuned in to who you are. I mean, in every sense of the word. So if you feel like something is missing in your life, if you're bored and just unstimulated, if you, again, don't have purpose and meaning or not living in accordance with what you've decided is really most important, your spirit is going to feel vexed. You are going to feel uncomfortable and unsatisfied. So being great, that sounds good, but I just feel devoid of joy. And I don't know how to get it, right? We're going to be talking about that. Tips and things on how do you move past that kind of energy? How do you go about this process of self-discovery? What are some of the things that you can be doing to strategically nurture yourself? Like nurture you. Like you, not just entertain you with some activity, but that really speaks to your heart and your mind and your passion and your purpose. Like, how do you nurture your spirit? Other challenges folks have, I'm almost done. There's a lot of them, and we're going to cover a lot of them here as part of this show. Oh, two big ones. I'll take them one at a time. Relationships. Some of you are in some really crappy relationships, And when I say relationships, that is across the board. I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, although I'm sure there are some of you that can relate to that. Some of you are going through separation or divorce or just tough breakups and really having a hard time bouncing back. Some of you are parenting children in which you are struggling and doubting if you're doing the right things for them, and questioning what it is or how you can support them better, what it is that you need to do to support them better. Some of you have really fractured family relationships with your parents, with your siblings. Maybe there's some generational curses still playing out that you're trying to work beyond, transcend, and you need skills. You need insight on how do you do it in a healthy way. Some of you have communication challenges and challenges with maintaining boundaries with people who are toxic. How can I have a great day when I'm dealing with all of this shit? It's possible with the right mindset, with some strategic boundaries and behaviors, and with execution of all of the above. And we'll talk about that. Other challenges to being great every day. Money. Money is not the root of all evil, as they say, although evil people do things with money. Money is essential to our survival in this dimension. It's essential. And some of us are really operating from a lack mindset. And so it's showing up in our bank accounts, or should I say not showing up in our bank accounts. Many of you are struggling from check to check. You're barely making it, if you're making it at all. Some of you are making just enough to make ends meet. And some of you are longing to live a different kind of lifestyle. Some of you are wanting to know how you can increase your wealth and your income. Some of you who have income and wealth are looking at that as that's all there is. You've bought everything that you know to buy, and you don't really know what else to do with your money in order to allow it to grow. And not just grow for you, but grow your community even. Where can I allocate funds that's going to be a blessing to somebody else? Where can I allocate funds, or what can I invest in that's going to help me grow my little seed into a tree for myself? So I'm not just talking about those who are without, although there's plenty of conversation we'll have around that, because the average person is not wealthy. The average person is longing to increase their income, and they're longing to increase their savings. The average person is living by a very strict budget, if any at all. And the average person is in need of a money mindset reset. A money mindset reset. And we're going to talk about that kind of stuff. I'm going to have experts on the show that will be able to tell you about some common investment strategies, or maybe even some uncommon investment strategies, and ways in which you can build wealth no matter what you bring in, what income you bring in, ways in which you can grow your money. We're going to be talking about, of course, professionally speaking, in your workplace, how to leverage your skills so that you can put yourself in position for higher paying jobs and promotions. We're going to talk about all of that. And last but not least, many of you, again, as we're talking about why people struggle to be great every day, and this is probably most poignant to the season that we are living in right now, as we are living in what people are saying are uncertain times. Really, we've been living in uncertain times all along. It's just it's more obvious now. It's much more obvious now. So many of you are struggling with this idea of feeling better about yourselves and about your lives on a consistent basis because you just don't know what's around the corner. You are just really living in great fear and uncertainty around global issues that are happening right now. How can I have a great day if I don't know if when I walk outside or my kid walks outside, if he's safe or she's safe? Or I don't know, what's coming next. We're dealing with the coronavirus, masking and social distancing. And a lot of that is it's still being determined. We're living in the age of a pandemic. That is the reality that we have to face. And none of us have ever done that before. None of us have ever done that before. So there's no rule book that we get to follow right now. So much of our existence that is happening around us. People are learning things on the fly. They're learning about the coronavirus symptoms and treatments and how to provide quality community care. We're learning that stuff on the fly. And that can be very jolting for some folks. The uncertainty and all of the unknowns around this disease and any potential future disease for that matter is very, very disconcerting, to say the least, right? So there's this whole environmental aspect of concern that is plaguing many of you that's like, I don't know what's around the corner. How can I feel great about that? How can I go into the day with any degree of optimism? We'll talk about that. And if I can just bring it down to even like a microcosm level, even before you get outside, some of you are having some really challenging or experiencing some really challenging living conditions in your home, right? We're quarantining. Some of you are living in dynamics that may be unsafe, unsanitary. Some of you are in abusive relationships. And abuse is not just physical. Abuse can be emotional and psychological. But some of you are in those kind of dynamics with roommates or partners or with your children. Or maybe even strangers if you just have a random roommate. Some of you are unhomed. You might be listening to this podcast in your car, watching it on YouTube on your phone. And that's not encouraging, right? How can I stay positive about this situation tomorrow? How can I approach tomorrow with optimism and I don't know where I'm going to lay my head or where I'm going to shower tonight? Again, I don't have all the answers. I have options and alternatives, and you see if they work for you. But what I can tell you is that it all starts with your mindset, and then it trickles down into your habits and practices, and then it shows up in your reality. So I look forward to continuing to do this show. I welcome you to follow me on all of my socials and message me if you have show topics or specific problems that you are currently dealing with that you would like to talk about or for me to talk about on the show. As mentioned, I will have guests on the show, so it will not be me. It'll probably only be me today, maybe the next one. But beyond that, I want to hear from you. I want you to hear from experts in different areas. And I want this to be a community place and space in which we are all committed to self-developing, to leveling up, to improving our lives, to being great every day. I want this to be a space in which we value self-improvement And we value failure because in that failure is a lot of evidence to build on toward your success. This show is a place where, as a community, we will laugh, we will cry, we will be like that, making faces like, what? I mean, mystery. I want to bring it all to the table. Because as we really unpack some of the common issues that people are struggling with, those are some of the feelings that are going to come up. We're going to feel excited and invigorated to learn new tools and strategies to help ourselves. We might need to feel a little bummed out as we face the realities of things that maybe we keep pushing aside. This is a community support system. I welcome you to treat it as such. I welcome you again to find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My name is @AlamiBashir with no hyphen. I'll put it in the description of this video. But I welcome you to be in touch. I want to personalize this show to things, real things that you guys are going through. So, I hope that you found value in this show. I know it feels a little bit somber, but I'm feeling pretty good. I was nervous in the beginning, but I always like to face my fears. I don't like to run from them anymore. And I'm going to welcome you to face your fears. So with things that you're struggling with, let's shed light on them. Let's talk about it. Let's explore. And let's find some ways that you can better cope. Yeah, let's find some ways that you can better cope so that you can have a great day no matter what. Stay tuned, y'all. Please like, subscribe, and comment. This is going to be on YouTube if you're not already watching it on YouTube. This episode will be on YouTube as well as aired on all of your podcast streaming systems, from Anchor to Spotify, Apple Music, etc. You can find it everywhere. Please share it with a friend. Follow me at @AlamiBashir on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and whatever other social that's under the planet. I have just about all of them, Snapchat included. And I wish you all much peace, happiness, and success. Stay safe and sane. Have a great day, no matter what.